Imagine starting a new job and on day one you're already in trouble.
You're the newbie, right? Well, we need a website by 5 p.m. Or else...
But boss, I'm a writer. I can't even design a triangle.
Not my problem.
So I hit the web and felt totally lost until I found this channel. One tutorial showed me how to build a WordPress website with a plugin called Starter Templates. Later that day, thanks to its AI capabilities, I went from zero to a sleek modern website. My boss was still at lunch, so I sent the link to his boss. She loved it.
You did that today? I asked your boss to do that 2 years ago.
As for my boss, well, let's just say I never saw him again.
Knows her.
As for me, I'm still here and loving it. So even if you can't design a triangle, you can still redesign stunning websites with Astra and Starter Templates. Hello, I'm Kay from the Astra team and I hope you enjoyed this little intro. Now, one of the fastest ways to build a modern and professional website is by using a free plugin called Starter Templates. It comes with plenty of free designs that you can install in just a few clicks, as well as some premium ones. That's ideal if you want to create a website very fast, even if you are a total beginner. And we've created a few videos on the channel that show you how to do that, and even an entire free course. But sometimes you may want to build a more custom website. Maybe you need to redesign a complete website, for example, for your company with very specific sections, as well as a specific order the information has to be displayed. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly that. The process to redesign a website like a pro. We'll be using free tools so that everybody can follow along. But for those of you that want the fast lane, I will also show you a pro alternative that makes the whole process ridiculously faster. So make sure you watch until the end. And first, let's start with the preparation phase. And the first step in this phase is to analyze the existing. And as you can see, we have a very old school website with this animated GIF that some of you may have known. So here at the top, we see the logo is quite old school. And then if you look at the navigation here, we have home, services, prices, hobbies, really, favorite poets, art, and gallery. Now, you have to bear in mind, some old websites used to throw a bunch of random content. And even though it tends to disappear nowadays, I just went to the extreme to show you how we're going to start analyzing this. So first of all, we want to get rid of things like hobbies, favorite poets, art. We could keep the gallery, but we have other ways to display the images. So next we can see the design is very bare bones. There isn't really any compelling reason for someone to stay on the website. There is no call to action. So we're going to start with the structure of the menu. We want to upgrade the branding, like the logo, the colors, and also make sure that our homepage really respects a few key principles. And if you want to know more about these principles, make sure you take a look at this video once you're done watching this one. Now, the next step still in the preparation phase is to back up our website. Now, it might be a WordPress website, but it also may be a custom website made with HTML, CSS, PHP, or any other language. And if that's the case, and if you don't know how to back up your website, just write to the support of your web hosting provider and ask them what's the fastest way to back up your website. They may even do it for you for free. Now, if you're on WordPress, I'm going to show you how you can easily back up your website. So just go to Plugins, Add New Plugin. And next, where you see Search Plugins, you want to type WP Vivid. Then click on Install Now and Activate. Then all you have to do is click on Backup Now. Depending on the size of your website, it might go from a few seconds to a few minutes. And then you see here Download. So I'm going to click on Download and download one more time. Next, he's going to ask me where I want to save my backup on my hard drive. I already created a dedicated folder, so I'm just going to hit Save. And voila, your website is backed up, files and database. Now, still in our preparation phase, the next step is to back up our website's URLs. So what is a URL? Well, the URL is the address you see here in the top bar of the browser. Now, this is a fake domain, it's not the real domain, but just to show you the example. For example, if I go to the services page, let's imagine the address of our website is mywebsitedomain.com. So if you go to the services page, as you can see here in the top bar, it says mywebsitedomain.com/services. That is the URL. And now when we're going to redesign the website, we want to make sure that we still have the same URL. And if we don't have it, we want to redirect to it. So before we delete the website, the old website, we need to back up all the URLs. And the simplest way to do this is just to go to Google Drive and create a free new Google Sheet. So here I put the name of the website page, the old website URL, and then I just extract the slug. So the slug is what comes after the domain name. So here we have mywebsitedomain.com/services. So the slug is services. You will need that later in the process. But now you may be wondering, why is it even important? Well, it's important for SEO, also known as search engine optimization. And in case you're wondering, search engine optimization is a set of practices that have websites rank higher in search results. The goal of SEO is to increase a website's visibility and attract a larger audience. In other words, you want your website to rank the highest possible in search engines when people type keywords or search phrases. And next, still in the preparation phase, we want to set up our development environment. Now, that's a big word, don't be scared. So your website is currently on your web hosting, so you can't really use it unless you use a subdomain. But in case your current web hosting plan does not come with additional websites or free subdomains, let me show you some alternatives. The first one is called ZipWP and it comes with a free plan. Now bear in mind that in the free plan, your website only stays up for 24 hours. So if you want to build a quick website, you can totally do it and then back up the website as I showed you before in this video. Now if you go with a pro plan, you can turn your website into a permanent website, which means that you're not limited by time. You can really work on it as much as you want. Now if you're looking for a free and local alternative, you have Local by Flywheel. And as the name suggests, you can install it on your computer to build your website. And once you're done building, you can upload it to your web host. But we'll see that later in the video. Alright, next let's move on to the definition phase. And the first step in this phase is to define your branding. It's super important. Now, if you don't have a logo or if your logo is outdated, make sure you take a look at this video where I'll show you the whole process of creating a modern logo. And in that same video, I'll show you how to create a brand guide. So here I got my brand guide. And as you can see, we went from this, a very outdated logo, to this. So very modern. So I got the logo versions, I got the colors with the various codes because yes, for computers, colors are codes. And what we're really interested in is the hex code, the one you see right here. And that will help us tremendously later in the process. Next, we have our typography, and here it's very simple. We have just one font, but you might have 1, 2, or 3, even though I really do not advise more than 2 different fonts. The next step in the definition phase is to redefine the structure of your website. Because if you recall, in the first phase, we analyzed the current website and we want to get rid of many of the pages, but maybe we need some new pages. So here there are 2 ways. You can either do it yourself. Maybe you already know the new structure you want. Or if you work in a team, you may want to brainstorm it. Or you can do what a lot of people do these days and just ask ChatGPT. So I'm in ChatGPT, I'm going to start a new chat and let me paste a message I prepared. And I told ChatGPT I need to redesign the Storm Drives website. Then I gave some info about the company. And eventually I finished with, please help me define a structure for the new website. So let's go. And a few seconds later, voila, we have our homepage and even with the detail, hero section, key highlights section, and so on. About us, services, gallery, location, blog news, contact us, careers, call to action, even design and UX suggestions. By UX, it's user experience. Now, that's all nice, but that's so many pages. Maybe you don't want that many pages. And maybe you also want to show branches of Storm Drives because I said, there's 3 branches. So while it's amazing what we can do with ChatGPT, you may want to fine tune it. Don't just take what ChatGPT tells you. You really need to put some brainstorming into it. Brainstorm force? Okay, I'll go. Now, personally, I like to do a mix of both. I like to create my own structure and then ask ChatGPT, hey, what do you think about that structure? And maybe I forgot something. Maybe I skipped something. So kind of the best of both worlds. Next, still in the definition phase, wireframes. Now, what are wireframes? And a quick search tells us that a website wireframe maps out the main features and navigation of a new website design. It gives an idea of the site's functionality before considering visual elements. In other words, in the context of web design, wireframes are bare-bones sketches of your website pages. Now, there are many tools to create wireframes, but the simplest one is just pen and paper. Or in my case, tablet and digital pencil. So let me show you. Here, I'm just going to draw a rectangle and then I'm just going to start writing menu. Now, Just to go faster for this video, I already created the various blocks. For example, this is our homepage. We have the menu, then the hero section here, the about section, values, banner with call to action, unique setting propositions, testimonials, and a banner. Now, there are also more sophisticated ways if you use digital tools, as you can see here, but all in all, the principle is the same. You just want to see roughly what your website is going to look like, where the content is going to be, and in which order. And if you're wondering which tool I'm showing you right now, I will talk about it later in the video. And you see, this tool is amazing. And the next step still in the definition phase is the design. Now, this might shock you, but this step is actually optional. We've come such a long way so that now you can use tools to actually take care of the design, but we'll see that in a moment. Now, if you're an agency, if you're a professional, or even if you're a beginner but you want to know the whole process, well, you can either build it from scratch with tools like Figma, Affinity Designer, Photoshop, the GIMP, Affinity Photo, and so on. Or you can go to marketplaces like Envato Elements, go to graphic templates and type websites. And let's say you like this design here. Well, you can download this design, import it into Figma, work from your wireframes, and then use the various design elements to craft your whole design. And then in a later phase, when we start working with WordPress, what you will do is that you will convert the existing starter template to your design. But like I said, this step is optional and I'm going to prove it to you. So if you can't design a triangle, if you don't know how to design, fear not, because you don't need it. Next, the production phase. And the first step in the production phase is to prepare our assets, our visual, text, any element that we need. So for the text, once again, it's either do it yourself or you can use ChatGPT or any other similar tool. Or maybe the company you want to redesign the website for already has a lot of written material. Next, you want to prepare your visuals. So make sure you have a similar style with the various visuals you're going to use on the website. Maybe your company hired a photographer. Maybe you're taking the pictures, or maybe you're using AI. Whatever you do, make sure the look and feel is consistent. In my case here, I've used an AI image generator. I prompted a very specific style that I wanted to give. So you can see here on screen the various images, and I'm really trying to get that consistent look throughout. Now you want to make sure you optimize your images in size and resolution. And if you want to know how to do that, well, we created a video on the topic. So I'll put a link in the description so you can go watch it once you're done watching this one. Next, in the production phase, let's set up our website with WordPress. So in WordPress, you want to go to plugins, add new plugin. Then in the search field, you want to type starter templates, click install now, and activate. And here we have two options. We can build with the AI website builder or with classic starter templates. Now, I will talk about AI later in the video, so let me show you the classic starter templates. So let me select that option. And here I'm going to choose block editor. Next, as you can see, there are plenty of categories and hundreds of designs, but I'm just going to pick this one. We all love nature. So let me click on it. And here I can upload my logo. I'm going to click on select files. Then I'm going to select my logo versions, select the one I want to use, and click on select. Now I can change the logo width. I can change the font pairs, but I can change this later in the Astra customizer. And then I can choose my color palette. Now, once again, we have our own color palette. For the time being, I'm just choosing something that more or less looks like our brand identity. Next, click on continue. And here I have a few options I can add, but I'm just going to keep it as it is. Click on continue. Next, you can fill in the form, and just below you see advanced options. Make sure install and activate Astra theme is on. So here you see a prompt that says that this will override your site settings and add new content. You might want to back up your site before proceeding. So very important, don't do that on a production website. Next, tick the option, I understand, let's go, and then click on submit and build my website. And there you go, your website is ready and took just 16 seconds to build. Yeah. So next, click on view your website. And voila, this is the foundation we're gonna work on. Now, I told you can change the logo, you can change the fonts, the color palette, and for that, you can just click on customize, or if you're back in the dashboard, let me show you. So let's go to the dashboard, and then where you see Astra, click on customize. Next, I'm gonna go to global, typography, And for the body font, I'm going to select Poppins. And the same for our heading fonts. Poppins. Now, why Poppins? Well, if you recall, Poppins is one of our company fonts, and it's stated as such in our brand guide. And that's why it's so important to have the brand guide, because it's going to help you down the line. Same thing for the colors. We see the X codes for our primary, secondary, text, and neutral colors. So all we need to do back in WordPress is go back, then click on colors, and here we can change the colors accordingly. So let me do that. Alright, so once you're done with the branding and identity, just click on publish. And once again, if you want to see this process in detail, you can take a look at this video if you want a quick start guide, or if you want to go more in depth, you may want to take a look at this free course. But of course, once you're done watching this video. Okay, the next step in the production phase is to create the pages of our website according to our website map. So let me close this so we can go back to our dashboard. Then I'm going to go to pages. And as you can see, I already have a few pages here because when we use the starter template, it automatically generated some pages. Now, there are a few pages I want to keep because they are in the website map that I created earlier. But for example, this one and this one, I'm just going to select it and move it to trash. Now, if I want to add a new page, it's super simple. I click on add new page. Let me close this. Just type the name of the page. And you want to make sure that if this page did exist previously, so in other words, if that page existed and you had an old URL and an old slug, you want to make sure the slug is going to be the same here. So I'm going to hit publish because first you need to hit publish before you can change it. Now let me close this. And now if I want to change the slug, all I need to do is click here and I can change it. For example, if it was gallery, I can change it here. And then if I save it, as you can see, the slug is now gallery. So the whole URL would be my website URL / gallery. Now in this case, it's a new page, branches. So I'm just gonna click on it and move it back to what it was. So branches, and let me save it again. It's important for SEO, also known as search engine optimization. And maybe your old website already had some good traffic. So for example, if you already had a page called branches that had a lot of traffic, you don't want to lose that. And that's why you want the exact same URL. And like I said before, if you cannot have the exact same URL, I will show you how to deal with that later in the video. Now, if you want to know more about search engine optimization, I'll put a link in the description to this beginner's guide. Now, back in WordPress, I'm going to go back to my pages and we have almost everything we need. The only one we want to add is testimonials. So let me add it now and hit publish. Now, once again, I'm going to go back. And now I'm going to hover over home and click on edit. And because we installed a starter template, we already have a lot of elements here, which looks very nice, but we're going to delete everything. Yeah. So I'm going to open the document overview and I'm going to delete each container. Next, I'm going to click on the design library. And there are two ways you can use the design library: without AI, which is completely free, or with AI. And in that case, you need a pro plan. Now, let me insist again, you can use this completely free. The only difference is that when you use the free version, you get the same beautiful design, but it does not know the context of your website in terms of what is it about and what should the images look like. But when it comes to the design, it's the exact same thing. Now, if you want to use AI, you do get some free credits each month if you want to test the feature. But if you want the whole website to be powered by AI, you will need some AI credits. I already showed the whole process in that video, so if you want, I'll put a link in the description below. But for the time being, as promised, we're going to use the free version. So if we look at our wireframe, we have our menu on top, and then we want to add our hero section, which is a fancy name to say the first main section of our web page. Now, if we look in the side panel here, you see we have various sections, but we're looking for a hero section. So let me click here, and as you can see, we have many options here. And if I scroll, I have more options. So it's really up to you. You can use whatever you prefer, and you can also change the color scheme. So for example, let me use this one here. And as you can see, the color completely changes. So let me click on insert. And if you're not logged into ZipWP, you'll be prompted to create a free account. And voila. Now you may want to change the text, of course, the image, the button, and so on. But at this point, I just want to recreate the structure of my homepage. So next, click on Design Library. And if we use our wireframe as a reference, the next section is the About section. So once again, you can choose among several options here. Let me use this one and click Insert. Now you can rename the containers here. So for example here, it placed the About section above the hero. That's not what we want. So I can just drag and drop it to change the order. But at one point you'll get a lot of containers, so it's best to rename your containers. So I'm going to click on the three dots, hit rename, type About and hit save. Now let me do the same for the above container. Three dots, rename, type hero and hit save. Now you get the idea. The point is to recreate the structure according to our wireframe and repeat the process for all pages. And you don't even need to care about the design because it's already beautifully designed in the design library. So at this point, you need to go page by page, change the images, the text, so you can start shaping up your website. Now that's exactly what I did, and I changed it into this page. So now if we take a look, we went from this to this. And now, as you can see, we have a modern and beautiful design. And all it took was using the design library, which comes packed with beautiful sections already designed, so you don't have to do anything. I mean, yeah, you have to change your images and change your texts if you're using the free version, because as mentioned before, if you're using the AI version, AI will take care of the text and the images. Now, the next step in our production phase is to export our website. And to do that, we're going to use the exact same process I showed you earlier when we backed up our WordPress website. Next, the post-production phase. And the first step of that phase is to wipe out your website. Now, you may want to do this at a time where usually people are not hanging around your website, like for example, in the night between Sunday and Monday at 3 a.m. If anything goes wrong, you still have the backup of your old website, you can always put it back. Now, if it's a custom website, HTML, CSS, that's going to be super easy. You're just going to delete the files. Now, if it's a WordPress website, you might be tempted to use the same install, but I would advise you to create a fresh new install on your domain name. Why? Because if your previous WordPress install is very old, like 10, 15 years, even 5 years, you may want to create a new one because the database might be bloated. So it's always better to start fresh. Next, it's now time to import our new website. So like I said, if you start from a fresh install, you should see something like this. And here I'm going to go to plugins, add new plugin. Then in the search field, I'm going to type WP Vivid, click on install now and activate. Next, where you see backups and upload, I'm going to click on the upload tab, click on select files. And next, I'm going to select the zip file that was created when I exported my brand new website with WP Vivid. Then click on open, then click on upload, and you can see here the percentage of completion, and there you go. The upload has completed. And now you see my backup here. I'm going to click on restore and restore one more time. Are you sure you want to continue? Now it's prompting you this because it's going to wipe out everything that's currently on this website. So I'm going to say okay. And voila, restore completed successfully. Now for me, it took like around 1 minute, but your mileage may vary depending on the size of your website, your web host, and so on. So once the website backup is restored, you will be automatically redirected to the login page. And here you need to log back in with the same credentials of the new website. So this is my website before I refresh, and now let me refresh. And there you go. Our new website is uploaded and ready to go. Now in our next step, we want to add an SEO or search engine optimization plugin. So for that, you want to go to plugins, add new plugin. Then you want to go to the search field and you can use a free plugin like Yoast, for example, which you see here, or you have Rank Math SEO, or you can use a plugin called SEO Press. So I'm going to click on install now and activate. Now, it doesn't really matter which plugin you use. They pretty much all come with the same options, just different flavors. Now, the important part here is to create an XML sitemap, which you will need for search engines. And then I have this URL here. And what's really important is that part, sitemaps.xml. Now, if you want to redirect old pages that do not exist in the new website, like the favorite poets page, for example, you will need to tell search engines that the traffic to this page should now be redirected to another address, like the home page, for example. And to do that, you can use the free redirection plugin. Next, we want to communicate that sitemap to search engines. So for that, you can either do it with SEO Press by going to the instant indexing page, but that can be a bit technical. Now, it might be easier to just do it manually. So for example, for Google, you want to type Google Search Console. I'm going to click on it, click on Start Now. And here where you see domain, I'm going to type the domain name, but very important, without the HTTPS. So it has to start with the domain name. You need to remove HTTPS column and the // Next, click on Continue. And here is going to give you several ways you can actually verify you are the owner of the domain. And if you don't know how to do it, just ask your web hosting provider and they will help you. And once you have verified that you are the owner of the domain, you'll be prompted to enter the sitemap URL. And to be more precise, just the slug of the URL. So just this part here, sitemaps.xml. Now, I've shown you how to do it with SEO Press, but once again, it's pretty much the same process with Yoast and other plugins. All you need to do is look for XML sitemap in the settings. So at the beginning of this video, I told you I will show you the process with free tools, but I also told you that if you wanted the fast lane, I will show you an alternative process with Pro Tools. So let's go to zipwp.com/pricing. And here, as you can see, we have Pro and Business Plan. If you go with the Business Plan, you get access to features like AI Website Mind Map Builder and AI Wireframe Builder. So let me show you. So let me click on Create New, and I'm going to select Custom Site with AI. Now I'm going to enter a business name, Storm Drives, and then I'm going to give it a business description. Next, I'm going to click on Improve using AI. And next, I'm going to click on Generate Sitemap. Now, it took about 15 to 20 seconds, and look at this. So first of all, here I'm in my sitemap generator. And as you can see, it automatically created the various sections for my homepage. Now, I can decide I want to remove a section. For example, theme here, if I right click, I can either edit the section, clone it, or delete it. Let me delete it. Next, and I'm going to show you the whole thing. You see it created the whole sitemap. Now, for each page it created, I can either add a section. So for example, let me click on Add a Section. And just like previously with the design library, I have several options: Hero, Page Header, About. And if I click on it, as you can see, it added the Hero section with text. Now I'm going to remove this. And right now I'm going to review my pages. So I don't need all of these pages. So I have my home page, then the About page. Yes, I want to keep it. Services also. Locations, which I call branches. Yeah, I want to keep it. Customer testimonials. Now the FAQ, I want to remove it because I'm going to add it within another page. The blog, let's say I don't want to blog on this website. I'm going to delete it. Same thing for careers, delete. And same thing for promotions, and delete. All right, let me zoom out. And as you can see here, I have 3 locations. So branch 1, 2, and 3. That's if I wanted a page for each location. But let's say I don't want to. I'm just going to delete all those pages. And there you go. If I zoom out, this is my current sitemap. Now, if I click here on Wireframe, as you can see, it's creating the wireframe automatically. So you don't even need to do it yourself. Just let the AI do its thing. And you can see it in real time. It's creating it right away. Now the feature is still in alpha, so if you get an error, all you need to do is click on Regenerate Section, and voila. Let me do the same for the one just below it, and there you go. Now let me go back to my sitemap, and as you can see, only the home page has the various section. If I scroll down, I can either add the sections manually or generate the page. And if you really can't be bothered and you want the AI to do everything, click on this icon here. Generate empty pages. So let me do it, and voila. And now I can go back to my wireframe, and as you can see, it's building it in real time. And there you go. And it took like less than a minute. And once I'm ready, all I need to do is click on Create Website. Then click on Start Building, and there you go. And it took less than 30 seconds. And we have the foundation for our website. If I click on View Your Website, once again, you know this, I can choose my logo, choose my color palette, and now I have all the sections that were built by the AI, but the text is already related to our business. And by the way, if you want to make some changes to a specific section, just click on it And here you can select a different one. So I could select this one, for example, and voila. Now, if you combine this with AI credits, you can actually use AI to change all the images. But in our case, as you know, we prepared our images. And from here, all we need to do is to apply the same process I showed you earlier in this video. So we can go from this to this. A beautiful and modern website completely customized to match exactly what you want for your website redesign. So as you can see, this feature from ZipWP makes the whole process ridiculously faster and super enjoyable. But whether you use these premium features or the free tools and techniques I showed you earlier in this video, I hope you now feel confident to redesign your website exactly the way you want. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. And done.